reason why they're not going to show the best of us, bro, is the reason why Michael Jordan's not the logo of the NBA. Because if they show that, it will show the power that we really have. They never want us to be like one life collective. They don't want that.
When they ask what this is, tell them this is what the true black image is. One life collective, no black nemesis. One fight, protection of the black premises. This is black privilege. When they ask what this is, tell them.
Welcome to the Black Privilege Podcast.
This episode is sponsored by He Looks Like Me, an evidence-based novel written by my pops, Dr. Michael A. Coe, where he talks about the importance of having black role models that mentor black boys in the classroom. It is proof that when you have those who look like you, you will excel. Make sure you grab a copy.
No black nemesis. One fight, protection of the black premises. This is black privilege.
Welcome to another episode of the Black Privilege Podcast, presented by One Life Collective. We're excited that you are able to tune in, support, watch, but please make sure you subscribe, YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at One Life Collective. I want to start off by shouting out the video god, the one who makes every one of our sets look so immaculate. My boy Danny Baez, what's good with you, bro?
What's good with y'all? How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm chilling.
Solid, brother.
Yeah.
Good.
Can't complain, man.
So I ain't gonna keep it all like formal and whatnot. Like we all bros. So I'm excited to have my cousin CJ. Say what up, my boy.
What up? Yeah, how everybody doing?
We got the One Collective co-founder over here, my boy Matt. What's good with you, bro?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
And I'm fantastic. I got my niggas here, bro. So everything is everything. And obviously I got my boy X. It's been a minute. I've been trying to get your ass.
What's going on, Mike? What's going on? What's up?
Yeah, I will say this. CJ's a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting you to be on here, but
pop up
yo, God is good, bro.
all the time.
And you shining, bro. That's your smile look like a Crest commercial right now, bro. I love it.
Right guy.
Yo, so what we usually do, just to let y'all know, I know y'all been following, watching us. We like to start every episode with the mental health check-in. So I'm gonna let Danny go ahead and lead that.
Yeah, so just like Mike said, we want to create that safe space for y'all just to be open, be free. You can be as deep or not as deep as you want. And just talk about your weekend, just kind of where your headspace is at. So, Matt, we're going to kick it off to you. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, and yo, rated from 1 to 10 too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Nah, I got you, brother.
If I were to rate my weekend, 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7.
Why 7? 7's my favorite number, but why 7?
Nah, 7 club over here. But what's good?
It was good, but I feel like I didn't get everything accomplished that I needed to get done. So that's why it's a 7. You know,
That's fair.
Word. You want to go a little specific, or if you don't want to, you ain't got to.
It's kind of good. Do you feel like it's good or it's negative that you didn't get a lot of things accomplished? Because, you only got 2 hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good 7. There's still time. The weekend ain't over yet. So I still got time to complete. It's just little tasks that I wanted. I try to set a deadline for,
Right.
to do. So, but other than that, it was a good week, and I had some good food today.
Yeah.
Mom chefed it up.
What did she make, bro?
We had some stuffed shrimp, some crab meat in, some ham, some mashed potatoes, some yams.
Can I get to the
some string beans, and some Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah, she's
Shout
going
out to the
crazy.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, she on a healthy wave. I
fuck with Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
You know?
I like them a little
Yeah, no
roast,
cap.
a little bit
Facts.
more roasted. Give it a little bit more flavor because they're kind of bland.
You kind of get into the damn, man.
But yeah,
All right, go ahead,
but
CJ.
yeah.
For me, weekend wise, I give it a 9. Yo, my birthday was March 23rd. I
Word.
was on
Happy
the cruise
belated
ship.
birthday.
Appreciate
Word.
you. Was on the cruise ship. Got back. I think the 25th, 26th.
Where you go, bro?
Went to the Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
Me, a couple of my friends, my girlfriend, stuff like that. So
Was that your
blessed,
first
bro.
time on a cruise?
Well, As an adult, yeah, I went with my
Okay.
peoples when I was younger, but
You couldn't
That ain't-
experience
yeah,
like how
I'm
you're
over
experiencing it
getting
now.
babysat and shit with it. So this is my first adult one, drink package and all of that.
Yeah, that's good.
So it was cool and just I say a 9, just blessed, bro. I'm happy to be here.
If you don't mind me asking, how old did you turn?
28. 28.
Enjoy that last few years in your 20s, bro. That's good, though.
I'm getting
That's
old.
good.
I feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Getting better, bro. You getting better. Getting better.
Then obviously being on my cousin's podcast is a blessing. Seeing what they doing and all of that. Like, had to go show love. So
I appreciate the support,
Blessed,
bro. We
bro.
do.
Yeah,
we
so-
appreciate the support.
I'm blessed. 9. I'll give it a 9.
Word.
All right, X, let's toss it to you. How you feeling, man?
I would say like it's at a 9 now. It's at a 9 now.
That's good.
It's at a 9 now. It was a lot of things going on. I live in New York, so like traveling and everything could kind of be a hassle, especially during the holiday season. But overall, man, I think just the importance on utilizing time and managing your time as well as you can. There's going to be unforeseen obstacles. My mom says a quote like, "Life already has enough hurdles. Don't make more for yourself."
I like that.
So just really, I've been trying to be punctual with my time as of lately. I don't think I've been wasteful. I think we can all manage our time better or differently depending on how we like structure it. Yeah. So it's at a 9 now. I'm with people I've known since like, it's funny. I was telling Mike this story like last week. I was like, "Yo, Mike, you showed me how to tie my shoes." Like I remember that. Like the moment in life where obviously we're adults, we kind of forget because things become human nature. But things when that moment when the light bulb goes off, I'm a teacher, so I see it every day. But like when things make sense, like I remember when it made sense when I finally understood how to tie my shoes.
That
it's,
I ain't
it's
gonna
funny
hold you.
how but Mike showed me. I
Yo,
remember
my
that.
nigga, I was in the Uber on the way to my LB's. He's like the president of the Masonic Lodge.
Yeah.
In the town, and I had your speakerphone because my AirPods was messing up, and the Uber driver was cracking up, bro, like, cracking up. But I was just like, yo, I ain't even remember that.
Yeah, bro.
I ain't even remember that.
Key memories that you keep.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
All right, Mike, round us out.
Well, nah, you gonna round us out.
Oh, well, all right, go ahead.
So I'll go and then
Okay,
I'll
go
toss
ahead.
it to you.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Where am I at? I'm gonna say over the weekend on a scale of 1 to 10, God is good. So I'm gonna rate myself at give myself an 8. And it's a good 8. You know what? I'm gonna push it. And you know what? I'm gonna say it was an 8, and then it turned into a 9.5. And one of the reasons why is just had a little bit of frustration with my goddaughter getting there on this HBCU college tour.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Matt, because Matt, in some ways, helped me when like I wasn't able to do certain things. So like that's what they say. It takes a village to raise a child. So
Yeah, that's a fact.
like I appreciate like my brother. Like that's my go-to. If I need something. So I was a bit like frustrated with certain things. You're dealing with like my goddaughter. She's 15, so sometimes they can be a little bit negligent. Or forgetful, and sometimes you got to get on them about certain things. But I'm just happy because she's actually leaving tonight, and everything is taken care of. And I'm happy because she's going on the trip, and so that's what that was my main concern this weekend. I was consuming my mind to a point, and then I did get a chance to just relax. So yeah, I'll give it a 9 right now. How about you, my guy?
Okay. I mean, I feel the same way as Matt. Like I'm at a 7, but it's like I definitely didn't get as much done as I needed to. My production in time, like doing time management, it sucks. It's always sucked. I'm a big ass procrastinator. So definitely some things didn't get done that I wanted to, but hopefully this week coming up, I can just get on the, put my foot on the gas pedal and just drive, feel me?
Do y'all feel like y'all know how to manage your time, or do you try to, encapsulate everything at one time right before the deadline?
I don't know how to budget my time for sure.
And I feel like it's like a mix. Sometimes you do a good job managing your time, but sometimes I guess you put an unrealistic amount of things or tasks to get done. And sometimes, you might have 12 things on your list, and with time, you're only going to be able to do 6 of those 12, but you still gonna write all 12 things because they all need to get done. You know, like, so I feel like you can still manage your time well, but still not hit your target pretty much.
No, I think I've been. I don't even want to go. I ain't mean to cut you off,
No, you
but
good, go.
nah, I be trying to like really emphasize like prior preparation, like the 12 P's, like for real, like that shit is so important. And I ain't perfect. Like I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't perfect at all, but I know this. Like life isn't about perfection; it's about growth. So I used to be a horrible time manager, but like sometimes I got to get up, or sometimes I'd rather deal with, if I have a task or things that I know that are going to encapsulate a lot of my day or take up a lot of time the next day, sometimes you just gotta stay up an extra hour.
Yeah.
Stay up an extra hour and a half or 2 hours and just knock it out, because it'll make your day much more like productive and you're not behind the 8 ball when it comes to stuff like that. So that's how I approach it.
I mean, I could also say at the same time, that's very true to a degree, but how well are you doing whatever you're doing at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning after you had a long day? Like
burning the midnight oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think context is key. Yeah, you're right about that. What you about to say though?
I feel like my time management is good. It's more so consistency is where I lack. Like time management, I know I can control what I can control and get what I gotta get done. It's just more so doing it through all the different moods, feelings, and stuff like that. So I think I would lack more so in consistency than time management, I would say.
No, that was a good question though, because I didn't even think about that. Because I think that many times that can turn even our weeks from maybe a 5 to a 10 in the way we attack our week and what we want to, get done. So, I definitely fuck with that.
So what was your purpose of action?
I just feel as though just hearing about his birthday, hearing a lot you saying about your goals and things this weekend, Dan saying the same thing. I've been recently reminded about that dash in the middle. So how well am I utilizing my time?
What does that mean?
The beginning and end date for all of us. Like that's something we can't escape that in taxes. And we're in tax season. But
yeah, did you file?
Yeah, of course. Like weeks ago. I just got my email today, saw how much I was getting back. Wasn't a lot. But overall, life has been reminding me about how I should utilize my time, who I should give my time to, because time is more valuable than money.
Facts. You can't get that back.
Information is more valuable than water.
Oh, you dropping gems early.
But just being real, like I'm just looking at life through a different lens. I guess like.
Where did that come from though?
Closing off the year how I closed it, I feel like I closed off 2023 on a high. Like a good high. So I think in removing certain excess and energy, like really being intentional coming into 2024. So the last like 72 hours was 2023. I really was like, it's like what they call nesting. When people are about to like depart or like you have something big planned. I was like nesting. I was just filing things in my place, cleaning things.
Like
I was
when
just
you're expecting something. Like
yes.
a baby.
Yes. I was nesting and I didn't know what I was doing at the time till someone informed me. So going into 2024, I've just been real intentional with doing check-ins, just calling people, just having a planner. I never had a planner before. Getting up at 4 o'clock instead of 5:30. Like I've been real intentional throughout this whole entire year of how I've been, even though we're about to hit April tomorrow, but really just been keen to like how I've been utilizing my time and things I haven't been utilizing as well as I should have. So.
Well, that's you make an interesting point though, because I hear like sometimes, I guess a lot of people look at it in a negative. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I've heard negativity in terms of thoughts about like people place a lot of emphasis on like New Year's and New Year's resolutions, like wanting to make a change.
I hate that shit.
And I think sometimes that can be like, and I'm not speaking, individually to you, specifically to you, but I do know like a lot of people expect microwave blessings. Like they expect, all right, new year, new me. And if you've literally practiced a certain way of, or you have a certain lifestyle over a period of time, but you're not actively working on bettering yourself, there's no way that the next year is just going to mean that you've become something completely different overnight. And some people have unrealistic expectations without putting in the work.
Yeah. faith without works. Yeah, and to like add to that, I feel like that's like a push kind of like with society as well. Like a get rich quick scheme. Like just because tomorrow's 2024, nothing changed. It's still the same person.
Absolutely.
Your mindset, your like how you move is still the same person from yesterday. Like I was saying, it takes consistency. You gotta work like within and build yourself up. It don't matter what year it is, what time it is. You have to get okay with yourself in order to produce what you want to produce moving forward to the next year. And that shit don't happen just because it's a new year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
I think even with like the things and like the people that you've been like how that, I think a lot of people are caught up in like saying it but not really like believing it but making a pledge within themselves to do it. You know, like how many people like, it's easy to like put it out there, but are you really making, like you said, the intentionality? Are you consistent? Did you make a deal with yourself? Like I read the Mamba Mentality book, like I got it like a year and a half ago.
I can speak to that
but
too.
Like I read it, I read it once, but then I had to really, I started putting notes in it.
You got to go back a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times.
That's what they call that active reading.
Yeah, active reading. I started putting notes in it, and I started taking certain pieces from like Kobe or like a Lorraine Hansberry or a Nikki Giovanni, or just so many plethora of like, I just started reading more within the past 2 years. But I finally, within like May or like April of last year, I found what worked for me. And then I just started slowly putting the things into place. But like, I think this, like I wasn't saying a year ago, my weekends were like a 9, you know?
Yeah.
So the intentionality, as he was saying, just like the consistency, like how many times are you gonna really make a deal to yourself? Like a lot of people, I'm gonna go on a diet or just stop eating junk food, but like stop buying cookies, you know? Stop going to the grocery store and buying the things that you say you're gonna stop eating and actually make the deal within yourself. Because if there are cookies in the house, you're gonna end up eating them. Like it's not like you're buying these things just to view for them, you know? But
I like that. I want to pivot just a tad because I'm listening to what we were talking about in our mental health check-in. And some of the things that came to my mind, at least, was when we started talking about like consistency. You talked about just now about like active reading, and those are things like within men that you guys are like, it's clearly a sign of maturity. Like you guys are actively growing. And just to highlight, because you guys obviously are guests with us today. You guys also not only are trying to be better men, but you guys are trying to make an influence or at least impact, the next generation, to put it generally, in the spaces that you guys are in, being that you guys are in the education field. And I just want you to first, and I'll start with CJ, and then I'll go to X. Talk a little bit about what you do right now, how you got into it, and a little bit about your experience. Like what do you go through and what do you see on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. So I'm the technology manager at a school in Trenton, a charter school. So it's a lot smaller than like the public schools, Trenton High and stuff like that. I got into it just after college, just still finding my way, job to job, just keeping the faith, believing in God. And he put me in a situation to be at a charter school, and like it's been a blessing since. So to go into more detail of like what I do, as a technology manager, I just handle all technology throughout the school. If it's Chromebooks, dealing with like, onboarding or teacher-facing problems, network, printers, whatever the case may be, I handle all of it. But as far as like impact, like why it's such a blessing is just dealing with kids that are like different backgrounds and maybe not as fortunate or blessed as like, some people that we hear today. Like it's very humbling and like just a constant reminder of like how blessed we really are. And even though like, people could talk about it, oh, I know I'm blessed, but until you really in those situations and you talking to kids, like, damn, like a lot of these kids came from some real fucked up situations, shit. Like I had to think about like, I don't know if I'm strong enough to deal with like, certain kids dealing with. I know kids that's like, parents kicked them out in 7th grade. It's just like kids, they not even like a teenager yet. Like it's just, or like wearing the same clothes multiple days, shit like that. So it's just a real humbling thing. As far as what I can do for the kids is
Like, do they come to you?
yeah, absolutely. Because I'm young. I'm one of the youngest like people there, and obviously I'm black, relatable, tattoos, so they feel like comfortable talking to me. And I'm not like a teacher, so like I don't have that relationship where I have to be as strict with them. Like, yo, get your work done. This need to be done.
Yeah.
They could come to my office and we could really rap and talk about stuff. So there's a few people that like I put under my wing. I know like at our school, kids like really usually don't grow with like 2-parent backgrounds and stuff like that. So a lot of like kids that come to me for some just, you know, like some OG fatherly man advice, stuff that like men never taught them in their life. And even like the girls at the school, they'll come and talk to me about they boy problems, blah, blah, blah. And I could just give them a real life perspective of what it's like that they don't have that outlet. So like, I feel like God really put me there for a reason, and it's really been a blessing, bro, just to like take them under my wing. I started the like athletic coordinator program as well. So this year was the first year we had like a sports program, basketball, teaching them teamwork.
You teaching them?
Absolutely. I'm the athletic coordinator as well. I forgot to add that, I'm the athletic coordinator as well.
Yeah, solid,
Nigga,
bro.
man.
So like, you know, I'm just doing what, you know, God put me on here to do. But so that was our first year doing that as well. And just, bro, like just seeing how the kids, how we have to break them down and build them up because they don't know what teamwork is. They quick to turn on their teammates and stuff like that. So it's been a blessing, bro. And I don't take it for granted, and I love what I do though. Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. So I just want to confirm. So you're the athletic.
Yo, don't let him run into
I'm the athletic coordinator of my school, absolutely.
Yeah, say that, CJ.
And the IT manager.
Because you would think, usually I think people who's nice at like ball, like, are
don't
people,
do that. Come on, cousin, don't do that. After this, we could go on the court. You know how I get.
Whenever,
You know
bro.
how it get, yo.
Whenever, bro.
It's a lot of men over here. Yeah? That's all I'm gonna say. It's a lot of men over here.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Oh, nah.
Nah. Let me chill.
Hey, yo.
You know I'm playing. No. Yo, X. So I have a follow up with the same question, though, bro. You know, just go into a little bit of detail about your background. Oh, wait, hold on. This is my cousin, obviously. I know him just off of family, but niggas don't know. Like, I met X when we were in preschool.
Yeah.
Little People's College. I don't think it still exists anymore.
Nah,
That shit closed down.
Yeah, Little People's College in Cherry, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I've known this dude. How are we now? I'm 32.
Yeah, 32.
Yeah, we 32.
32.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, we been friends for a long time. But go ahead. I just want that in.
It's crazy that I teach at a charter school as well. I teach in the Bronx, 3rd Ave. It's teaching in the inner city in New York, especially. I got to see an aspect that made me value my childhood. I think back at my childhood that, you know, when you were in your preteens, like I teach 7th grade history. So when you're at this age, you kind of are trying to, lack of better words, appease to society. And you want to do what this person is doing. You kind of are a follower, but you're also trying to lead your own direction in your own life, to, so to speak, to some degree. And as I look back at it, I was like so not self-confident, but like self-conscious, I should say. I was confident, but I was also conscious of myself, like super hesitant to speak to people, as you're saying about the HBCU tour. Like I look back and I wish I spoke up more to get more insight or just information. Like, who do I talk to? I'm interested in doing this. I'm hearing about HBCUs and all these black greats that went here. How do I be a part of that? But I didn't speak up. I think back at like dealing with acne. I think about trying to like find myself as an athlete, and I was also into the arts. But at the time, I was skateboarding too, so that wasn't really popular with black people. But like you fit in with like a certain niche demographic as well, but you're the only black person there. So like then you also like cool with the Caribbean and Spanish niggas. So it's like I was also like always well-rounded in who I was around with sports, just everything involved in school. But I was always so I don't think I was like happy with myself at that time. So now, like as a 7th grade history teacher in the Bronx, I'm looking back at how many things my mom had me involved in, extracurricular activities. You speak to teamwork. A lot of these kids never had the opportunity to be a part of the organized sport until they're like 14, 15, where some kids who have had the privilege, their skill set is a lot better. So, and even speaking to skill set, man, like I'm looking at how COVID, impacted a lot of these children. Whether like, some parents go to school, some parents go to work during the day, or they go work at night, and you know they're raising the other siblings.
Yeah.
And man, I look back at my childhood. I didn't have to take a school like the city bus to go to school. I didn't have to get on a train and see X, Y, and Z. And being in New York has just taught me more to love myself, but also love on these kids, man.
Well, it seemed like because you said something, and I want Matt to jump in this too, because he's got some.
He got educational.
Yeah, he got
experience,
educational experience. But before I hop to Matt, you said something you didn't like yourself.
Yeah, growing up,
So
I don't
like,
think I did.
Yeah,
I
like
had
talk
the
about that a
confidence.
little bit more.
Like I grew up in a single parent home, so it was just me and my mom. So I value, like hanging out on my fault, man. Hanging out, my fault.
He wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for my fault. But I didn't.
I'm listening.
Stay ready.
I'm listening.
I didn't, value. I value my mom, but also yearned for a male's presence a lot. And I think a lot of my backbone at that age would have been a testament to that. I think the confidence would have been there. I think I would have been able to look myself in the mirror stronger, poke my chest out, or talk to women differently because I didn't have that said male assistance. I think, I wasn't able to love myself as much as I thought I should have at that time. But, having, friends who had their dads in their lives that, I did take hold of that. I did hug on to that experience. I remember I saw one of my friends who I used to carpool with in school, in middle school, her dad. And I remember he used to gas me up in 7th grade, like, oh, I see you with the velour suit. I know you was talking to such and such at your locker.
I remember when the velour was,
you got the
Rockaware, bro, the Pelly.
Come on. So I remember he was gassing me up, but me being so shy and just insecure with myself, I didn't, hold on to wear that gas up. I didn't wear it. And I saw him maybe like a year and a half ago when I visited my mom, and I just had to give him love. Like, damn, my nigga, like you knew I would be like this. Like, thank you, my G. Like, if I could thank you then, I gotta thank you now. So I think now seeing these children and seeing a lot of myself in them, I get to talk to myself every day within these kids. And that's like the biggest blessing. It's just granted the financial reward you would like for it to be there. However, how big is that dash in the middle? How important is that to you that you make impacts on other people? I feel like I'm a conduit right now. I speak to my experience. Similar to as he said, I got the tattoos, beard, bald head. Like I really look like one of their older cousins or somebody that live in their building that can give them the game. But also, like I tear your head up. I could wear the J's on the off day on a Friday, but I could wear the 3-piece suit or like the self tie. Yeah.
I like
everything. So I value being an educator. It's bigger than just being like behind the classroom. I remember one of the kids wrote me a card on my birthday. He said, the lessons you give us transcend the walls in this classroom. You're woven in the stitches of our lives. So just hearing someone say that at like 13, man. I cried my birthday, bro. I cried my birthday. I cried, man. I can't remember the last time I got balloons. You feel me? Like them kids really.
That was beautiful, yo.
They care,
bro.
You'd
they had a whole surprise birthday party
Yeah.
for me. The staff was involved. I didn't even know about any of that. So just seeing how the kids plan that, and this is just only my 2nd year. I can only imagine like the next 15.
Well, I'm gonna give you your flowers right now, like that ass, like just to
I
hear that,
appreciate
man.
you, bro. I appreciate y'all, man.
Nah, for real. And
That's what it's about. Similar to what he said, it's like you know why you're here once you are really there.
Well, I you know what? I saw something you posted on your IG story, and I remember texting you, replying to your story, and I was like, "Yo, you seem like you in your calling."
Yeah,
Remember-
we spoke to that.
I remember saying that to you, and it's beautiful to hear that. I think, and another beautiful moment, and I want Matt to talk about this. Matt, one of the first events we did was an open mic night, and Matt brought his kids to the open mic night, and I was like surprised, like not necessarily that he did it, but just like by like the amount of love that like they looked at him like. So I want you to talk about your experience, man. Like, I just want to set some light on you because you talented in that space as well.
Like at the end of the day, like I worked at George Kilmer, I worked at Rivera, and when I went to Kilmer, I was teaching 8th graders. So there was like my one-on-one was friends with one of the kids, and it ended up turning from a one-on-one type thing to now I'm teaching like all the kids. Like they would break it up. Like 3 of the girls would do, and then the rest of the class would be me.
And so it has small group and also like a whole group setting as well.
The teacher literally is only teaching 3 of the kids, and the rest of the kids want me to teach them.
Wow.
Because they didn't receive.
It didn't gravitate towards her.
So it was just, and by the end of the time, I was basically subbing that class because she went out for whatever reason. But it was just nice, like when that was my first year, when we had the event, they were like, yo, Cole, you throwing another, because they saw that we did one. They're like, yo, you doing an event, man? Mm-hmm. And I showed them like the promo video. They were like, yo, like, I was like, yo, my boy Danny did it. Mm-hmm. They were like, yo, that's official, like music. And I'm like, yo, y'all wanna come? And so they were like, yeah, yo. So then, I went to the, how can I get them to come? So they're like, permission slips.
Yeah.
Permission slips, and they good. So it was about, I want to say 6 of the kids, 6, and it's funny because they play basketball, and my cousin brought her little cousin, so both of them were in this 8th grade too. So a couple of they were like, yo, Mr. Cole, like who's that over there? And I'm like, yo, like chill out, chill out.
That's funny, yeah.
But it was good, just, and then like after the event, they're like, yo, Cole, when you doing another one? So then we did the basketball tournament.
Wow.
And they came with us, same deal.
Right, yeah.
So like it was honestly rewarding to see that, and that's why I kind of like, I'm trying to get back into, like teaching, because it definitely is rewarding regardless of the amount of, amount of money that I didn't even look at it as work.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got to get up at 8, but I'm just going to chill with, like impart some knowledge, some wisdom into these little niggas, like. But it was cool.
I will say this, like, because I remember I subbed for maybe like a 1 year at Rivera, but he had subbed there before. And there, I guess some of the kids that he had influenced, and I was a basketball coach. Just to let you know.
He said that with so much inflection.
I don't know why, but all right.
I'm playing. But no, they just spoke about, like, they was like, yo, you Matthew Cole's brother? I'm like, yeah. They was like, yo, that's my nigga. I'm like, yo, whoa.
Nah.
No, but they really, really like, I could tell how much respect they really had for him. And you could tell he made like a very, very serious impression on that. And I think that speaks to all of y'all. Yeah, I think that speaks to all of y'all. So let me pivot one more time, because like, I love this because so many times
to travel, that's a lot of pivots, bro.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm gonna connect it. So follow me real quick. So everything that I just heard based on y'all experiences within the education field are untold stories that you don't see on a day-to-day. Like within social media, we always hear about like the negative shit. Yeah. And I think that's because like there's so much attention drawn to like hip hop culture, sports, things of that nature, where like the stories of like the niggas that's like, let's just be real, the niggas that's in the trenches putting in the real work to make their communities work, a lot of those stories, if they are highlighted, maybe aren't highlighted in the way that they should be or as consistently as they should be. Mm-hmm. So we can do rapid fire or however you guys want to do it. But like what I just said, think about that and then give me your response on how you feel about like how we're portrayed in greater society, ways that we can combat it. And overall, like what would you tell somebody who is not from the diaspora, like what to expect, or like what is the best of us? What is the best of us as men? Because it's not necessarily shown. And this is a platform for us to like essentially communicate that to them.
That's a great. So damn, you said a lot. So to answer the first part, I think society kind of like puts that out there that we're only portrayed as like thugs, ignorant, stuff like that, because it's a money play. They don't really want us tapped in and being unified how we are right now, talking on this podcast. Like when you're separated, I feel like as Black people, we're the most powerful race. And when we're together, we're the most powerful. But like when we're separated and we're all in different, directions and chaos, that's where they kind of want us at. So they put basketball and athletes and entertainers in the front instead of like, people who's really putting in that groundwork, really changing people's lives. Because if that get a spotlight shine on it and we're influencing younger generations, that's when real change starts happening. And I think a lot of people are scared to see that. I would say, to answer your other question, I think the best of us are, I would say, just men that are family men. Like, I think that's the most powerful black man, a man that's there for his family. Not out with his friends, partying, drinking, blah, blah, blah. All that shit is cool. But if you take care of your household, I think you one of the most powerful men, in my opinion. Yeah. As long as you take care of your household, you holding your household down, you showing your kids examples, you treating your wife the way she's supposed to be treating. Because a lot of this stuff I learned from my dad, he didn't speak. I just saw it. Getting my sister and my mom flowers for Valentine's Day, how he hold down the house, how he'll hustle without asking. You get what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, like, I think that's the most powerful in my opinion.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents still together?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what's up, man.
30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, bro.
Preach.
I think the best of us are never going to be seen. That's the reason why Michael Jordan is not the logo of the NBA. Like, the best of us is never going to have.
Say that again. Say that again. Just, yeah.
The reason why they're not going to show the best of us, bro, is the reason why Michael Jordan is not the logo of the NBA. Because if they show that, it will show the power that we really have. They never want us to be like one life collective. They don't want that. I think being an educator is like 1% is black males, or less than 1%.
Yeah, I saw something like that.
It's hard being an educator and also being at this stage of your life where like you're aspiring to have a family, because like you got to put in an insurmountable amount of hours. Like I'm coaching like 3 sports within this school year, and I remember hearing a conversation that this woman that used to work at my job last year, she said she got in a tit for tat with her daughter because her daughter wanted to tell her something after school when she just got home and she wanted to relax and she just needed like 10 minutes to herself. And her daughter felt neglected, that her mom didn't want to listen to her at that point. So like maybe like a couple of days after that, or maybe like a weekend after that, she, made a pledge to her daughter that she wanted to like cater to her, like have a movie night and make all this food. But she remembered how much she put into other people's kids, but not into her own. So it's that balance. Yeah, it's the time thing, right? It's really being able to, like, you more than just an educator. You're like, I'm like a sponge, so to speak, because I'm taking in a lot of the kids come to me in between their lunches when I'm trying to have my lunch or my prep period, and they just want to talk or express about like the tea that's going on with this person dating this person and stuff like that, like, or just ask you like, yo, so what was the homework? Does this connection, is this because this? Like, they're asking me about the lesson, or if they could come hang out after school, or can we have like a movie night? So it's really like, there's times where like I became an even worse texter because I'm putting in times with the kids and I can't really respond like how I want to because I have deadlines. I got to look at data. But I think not even just the reward, the impact that you have is like, as I look back, like it's like yesterday I thought about one of my kids at work, like, I just hope they're having a good weekend, because this past week we had parent-teacher conference. A lot of the kids I taught last year in 6th grade. So now I get to teach them again another year. So I get to know the parents on the real personal level. So now these kids like became a part of your family, they're a part of your daily life. So you'll think about certain things or just reflect like, man, I remember this one kid was having a problem like with the lesson, or they're at this age, unfortunately, where puberty is happening and, bodily odor is really like busting. So like even thinking about like how can you do something politely to even, put medicine in the candy. How can I tell these kids like, hey, here's this gift card or something here, like you might want to go to this spot because this thing make you smell real good, like just trying to find different ways to
help without not breaking them down and making them feel like.
But shaming works though.
Sometimes it do. I keep a spray deodorant in my office. I'll tell like, close the door because you're not gonna talk to me smelling like that. But you got that relationship. Like you don't do that in public, but like they know me solid. Close the door, but you can't come in here smelling like that.
That builds a connection, like you say, to where they they want to bust it up and chop it up with you. Like, yo, OG, like I thought about this. Can you pull out your phone so I could show you? Like I saw this the other day. I thought this would be good for me. What are your insight on it? Yeah. So. Man, I didn't have anybody like that. Like a lot of us, I know, speaking for myself, like a lot of the educators in my school was old white people. People that had their pension, people who kids was already in high school or going to college, they're on the back tail end of their career. Or you had that
Cruise
young
control.
teacher, or you had that young educator who didn't really have that balance, that, you know, that knew the lesson but didn't have the personal connection with the kids. Or the one that had the personal connection with the kids, but you could tell he was all over with his lesson planning.
Yeah.
Or
didn't-
there wasn't a lesson.
Yeah, or it wasn't a lesson, right? So I think I became like the big brother that I wish I had, the older relative that I wish that was around, you know, and I feel for these kids, man. Like I didn't have to worry about, thankfully, and it's a blessing, like if I didn't have hot water
Yep.
Yeah.
or roaches in my building,
Yep.
or I had to drop somebody off at school before I went to school. So these kids are kind of like adults. Like they deal with things that I didn't have to deal with.
Traumatic. So,
Yeah,
some
like
real shit.
PTSD. Really, like granted, we grew up in the inner city in Trenton, but like this is light work. What we went through, like this is chocolate cake compared to like dealing with smoke shops every other block, or people in front of my building smoking, and I'm getting a whiff, and now I'm interested to see what's going on, making me grow up faster. Like I don't remember, I was playing video games and doing sports in middle school. I wasn't really, my mind wasn't on sex in the 7th grade. A lot of these kids are. TikTok, a lot of these things are enhancing their awareness. They're
learning
becoming
about
lax.
Accessible. A lot more is
Yeah.
accessible, bro. Like speaking on that, what you said, like the vapes too. That's like a big
a
thing in my
problem.
school, bro. Like,
It's a
like
problem,
back then,
bro.
yeah, you might go grab like a mild or something, but like access to vapes is
You were
ridiculous.
afraid to get a mile because you might run into somebody that you know in your neighborhood at the store.
And you smelt like it
you
though, so
smell
you
like
had
it
to
too.
keep that in mind.
That's
But like,
facts,
yo,
though.
kids, like, and I'm talking about like middle schoolers with vape pens. Like, yo, you never fully developed. What you got 2-3 vape pens with you for? Like,
You have
Ah, smack
a
them.
32 in English, which is your first language. You should not be smoking a
yeah,
vape.
you don't need to be smoking anything. You're
You're
smoking that
getting
English
smoked.
paper.
You're
Yeah.
getting smoked.
Word is blood.
I like that though. Like I think that like there's a new age in terms of like how like our generation is going about approaching like the kids that are coming up from us. I don't think like, I know like my parents used to say because I said so. Like, and sometimes I think even some parents, I mean teachers, because you know obviously they're in an authoritative position. Like they just move how they move, and many times there's action that's requested without much explanation. And I see a lot of young kids, they want to know why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What is the purpose? And many times when they're left in the shadows, I think that gap in miscommunication, or that gap of communication, I think that like negatively like impacts them. I don't know, like if y'all agree or disagree, but that's been mine.
I think it's more or less when they ask why, like you to a degree, depending, I guess, how close you are to that person. You know, like you're going to now kind of explain it. Like it was different when, I'm just speaking to my experience. You know, with Kai, when she asks why I'm like, you got to do this. You got to, because X, Y, and Z. You know, like I'm not too, you know, like too high, like to explain. If it now,
Too
if
high and
it's-
mighty, yeah.
yeah, if it's something that she really don't need to understand right now, of course I'm gonna be like, yo, don't worry about it. You know, like drop it. But like, why not give them that knowledge? Like, if it's not gonna hurt them.
Right.
I think a lack of communication is a lot of what these kids are missing. Not even just because of electronics, because our generation has a lot of there are some children in my school whose parents just as old as me. There are some children whose parents who are a little bit older than me. Some of them, like, this is like their last kid out of like 4. So you got to think, if they're like maybe in their early 40s, some in their 50s, some, right? They didn't have the language. There was an old way of thinking before there became the current way of thinking. So the lack of communication, the lack of awareness, the lack of accountability, a lot of us in our age bracket of this set of millennials are now having the access to unheal and heal, right? So a lot of my scholars, there'll be times where they'll get frustrated with me, right? So they'll start mumbling under their breath. So they have a thing like, yo, if you're going to mumble under your breath, say it with your chest. It's not even a thing to be like an ass, just to be, you need to be able to communicate, because there's going to be a time in your life where you're going to mumble under your breath and life is going to make a decision for you. And you can't allow the opportunity for you to speak up or for you not to say no. And I was learning to say no and to speak up when times I felt uncomfortable in my 20s. I was just learning that.
Yeah.
I didn't always have the confidence or the gusto to say no, to say, I'm not really feeling that. Let's just do this at this time. Or like, I don't really know. Like, I don't feel like driving you. Like, it was times I should have spoke up. And I didn't know the importance of it at that time, when I should have been doing it in my earlier teens and my 20s, to where I already had the human nature or the repetitiveness to have the confidence to be telling people yes or no. So I really try to, if that's something I push, is for them to speak with their chest, speak out loud. Don't be, don't not ask the question. It's a line that Tupac says on Me Against the World. He says, even the genius asks his questions, be grateful for blessings.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're as slick as you think you are, be slick now in this moment and stand up. Like, speak with your chest, because I could be wrong and I could communicate with you where I could have, I lacked in the area and I need to communicate to myself better to you, or where I need to apologize, or where I saw something that was, me being a teacher, you missee things because you're trying to manage a whole bunch of kids at once. Yeah. So I could be wrong in a situation just because I'm seeing it from this angle as an educator. If I missaw something, I'll apologize, and I'm quick to apologize, because you kind of want to keep all the kids on your side, because you got to get them to learn. Facts. You got to get them to learn. Whether it's like a life lesson or something that we're learning about the 13 original colonies. Like, you got to learn. And it's a testament to that. I think the relatability that I have, and me having tattoos and doing the gritty, in between like them getting a correct answer, the reason why I got the data that I do. So I think it's the relatability.
I think we're in a very unique space because of it, and partly due to the access of information. And the way that how that's transformed a lot of the conversations. Yeah. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like when it came to X, like, thank God for social media, because I don't know, like, whether me and him would be able to reconnect without it. Like, let's just be real. A lot of us, like, outside of, having somebody's phone number, like Instagram, like, thank God for social media, because like, One Life Collective probably wouldn't have like been possible without it, with us like reconnecting.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it, I will say this, is that like, when you are invested in like-minded people and you really, really want to make an impact on the world because you see there's so much lacking in it, I think that having that as a tool to utilize can definitely help. But the one thing that I have noticed, though, is that there has definitely been, like, throughout the history of us as a people, that we're not necessarily using that access to information maybe in the most effective way possible. And like, for instance, like, I'll just talk about something that me and you talked about. Like, I'm very much, even, I have access to YouTube, but like, I like to spend time learning history, learning about my people, learning about like duality of what it means to be, a Black man in America. I read, like, shout out Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. Like, that's a way to like challenge your mind and think outside of your box. And that's, I think, in many ways, a positive way of using information. Yeah. And you sent me, and you talked about like James Baldwin, when he talks about like us as a people within the country, and how like we kind of sell ourselves short. And I think, just to bring that to today, I think that there's not a lot of emphasis where we're encouraging more kids, like, yo, it's okay to like do your gritty, but also like, what are you doing with the rest of your time? Are you accessing information in a way that's going to build you up and separate yourself from your counterparts? Any thoughts on that? Do you think am I off on that?
You want to go, Matt? For me, I feel like, nah, you're not off. I feel like that's the trap, though. That what's happening is exactly what the higher ups
it's supposed to
want
happen.
to happen. Yeah, it's supposed to happen. Like, between music and social media, like, that's what they want. You want to be distracted. TV. It's a million different stupid ass reality TV shows. Like you said, like, I like to read too, yo. So like me, I take detoxes from, like, I delete my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of that stuff, and I go months, 6-7 months without it, like, because, and I just download. I have YouTube because it's still like a lot of information, like Wall Street Trapper, Earn Your Leisure. Like I've tapped in with people like those. So like, I think it's sad though because like the younger generation, like the people we mentor and be around, like bro, like it's hard to get away from. So I don't necessarily knock them. I know how strong that impact of social media trying to fit in is. So you kind of lose sight of what the main thing is. You looking up to people that already made it. And I feel like that's always the trap. Like you're not having realistic expectations or visions. Like what you guys are doing right now, little kids can look up to. Like I'm 100% show my kids like this podcast when it's all done. Like it needs to be more people in this space that are like one, accessible that you can actually reach out to and talk to, and two, people that are really relatable. Like we looking up to people like LeBron James and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like the chances of you having the same trajectory as LeBron is, come on now, you might as well, go outside and get struck by lightning or some shit like that. So like, I feel like it's a trap. People binge watch Netflix all day, want to watch season 1, season 2, when you're not focusing on your life, bro. You have to lock in with your life first before you can have those leisures that society wants you to have.
It's kind of scary to really look back at it, what you said, that I remember when we had dial-up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for real, I remember dial-up. I remember AOL.
AIM. Woo.
I remember MySpace first popping off, no BS. I remember being like one of Drake's like first under 1,000 MySpace followers. Like for real. To see where, I remember Instagram couldn't give you videos, bro.
Nope.
It was just pictures.
Literally just pictures.
Tumblr.
No stories, nothing.
Tumblr.
Yeah.
To see where technology has taken, not even just us, just the universe, bro, and how they're canceling a lot of apps too. I think the lack of awareness when drifting into the rabbit hole will always, like, we're living in the Matrix, bro. Like, I don't think the Hughes brothers at that time, not the Hughes brothers, I forgot what their name is. The Hughes brothers, that's the black filmmakers. But the Wachowski brothers, I think.
Wachowski sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Excuse me.
Wachowski is right.
Yeah. To think that like they had whatever idea or what originally, the black woman that wrote the book, The Matrix.
Yeah, that
and
was
all
that. They based.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me.
No,
Let me
you
honor her
good.
on the last day of International Women's Month. Right. But to think that like we're really living in whatever they say the revelations, the last days, whatever they're saying. I don't know when that's happening, but I think we're seeing a lot of the things that were happening there in it. When it's bro, I fear for these kids, man, because these are the people that's going to be at the register or owning whatever company that are going to be hiring the next generation, my kids. And if I'm able to have, blessed to have children, to see where the society is going because of the lack of people who choose not to read. I remember my mom used to tell me that I didn't know how to spell something. Go look it up. We didn't have
dictionary.
Google. The dictionary, bro. Ask Jeeves. You feel me?
Oh, I forgot about Ash. Damn.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, bro. Woo. So I remember actually actively looking things up before you can look things up on the internet and wanting to have access to information. It was corny if you didn't read back in the day.
Yeah.
It used to be corny when you would, granted not to say like a stuttering problem is an issue, but when you couldn't sound out certain words.
Yeah,
used to be, if you couldn't articulate, you was looked at as like kind of a clown.
Yeah.
Like no funny. Like if you wasn't prepared when you got popcorned, like it was an issue in class. You used to get joked on.
That's why I be telling my kids too. I'm like, yo, it was never hot to be like the kid failing, bro.
It was never hot to be the dummy.
Yeah,
to attest to that, a lot of these children, or lack of better words, excuse my language, a lot of these children are glorifying people whose lives is fucked up.
Yeah, that's facts.
Back to that rap culture and shit.
Back to the internet, back to what they see outside, back to because this person dresses good, but they're failing, people get lost in the external image.
Nah. I like what you said about that.
And that also go back to what your first question was though, Mike, about why kids ask like questions. And I think it's like you said, because they have so much accessibility to the internet. Like, yo, when we had to do projects growing up,
So much input.
my mom used to have to take me to the library so I could go on the computer and look up some shit. Like now, Google, TikTok, all of that stuff. So that's why I think when, like, as authoritarian figures, like when we say something, it's a why. Because they can question it because they could look it up. Like you said, just do it because I said so. It's not that no more. Well, I'm gonna look it up. You say this the right answer. Well, let me Google it and see if it really is. It's different, yo.
I think so much of my concern though is that like I just as brown and black people, I just don't want us to shortchange. There's I guess there's beauty in tradition. You know, there's ways to innovate and be better and to grow, but there is also a beauty in tradition and putting in the work. And like I said, like, you know, the access to information is so great, which is a great thing. But, you know, I just want better. I just want better.
It's a new way to.
Before I just want to ask one question. Being that we're talking about education, what do you think is the biggest problem? And
I wanted to ask you that earlier. I thought about that question.
Let's go around then.
What do you think the biggest issue right now is? Not even just from your personal experience, but just from your knowledge of your experience. From what you see, not just like politically. What have you seen that you think is one of the biggest issues?
If I could give two answers,
if
I could give two answers,
you're fine,
the lack of funding, and there being people that are relatable, that look like them, that, you know, they can see as a older uncle or type or older brother, like, because I feel like when they see that, the numbers
aspire to
up.
that. Yeah,
the numbers go up. You see a kid that had D's straight, you know, for the last 3 years. You come in and they're A/B student now. Why? Because they see somebody that they can relate to and talk to, and all right, he made it. All right, let me try to do the same. But I think that those are the two biggest, like, in my opinion, the two biggest problems.
I think one of them is the lack of people in administration that haven't been in the classroom. Because it's like you create some curriculum and an unreal expectation for these children who don't even have, like, you want there to be like a 70% pass rate, but little Sergio here only speaks English at school. So how is he going to get a 70 average in ELA and writing when he struggles to speak English in school, but he only speaks Spanish at home? And he has to somewhat translate.
75% of the time he's speaking in Spanish, pretty much.
Come on. And he's barely translating when it's parent-teacher conference. So I think the lack of administrators that are not in the classroom or haven't been in the classroom in years. I want to attest to funding as well, because I don't think we fund the correct things. Like, there's a financial deficit, but there's a deficit for them not providing the proper, like, there should be a washer and dryer in almost every school, bro.
Yeah.
Like, children should be able to have access to a refrigerator where there's leftover, like, milk and snacks and stuff like that people choose to throw out. Seeing that, like, I live in New York, and there's also like a homelessness issue and a migrant issue. People are like picking out at the trash and certain things. If we can like mitigate that, and also like a lack of it's a TLC issue. Financial, I think that comes with TLC, because if you really put that in, you'll put up the money. Yeah. So there's a issue with the empathy issue. And an issue with what I said previously.
What about like subject matter, about like what's actually being taught?
Yeah, the curriculum.
Yeah, I think, the curriculum.
Because they're teaching white history, not the right.
The right history. Yeah.
And, all right. So me being a history teacher, right? I think like I kind of spin it, right? I spin it. Yeah. So like one of the kids were like, all right. So we were learning about the 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? But I had to really teach these children that there were people that migrated from the southwest hemisphere that walked across the Antarctica when it merged with Canada before the Great Ice Age and everything like that, right? So I had to explain them, these are the real natives to America, like how that really came about. They said, wait, so Columbus, that's what colonizing is. I was like, yeah. And we learned about annexation, taking land without cause, just taking it from up under your feet. So now we're learning about how they pushed all the Native Americans to the west of the Appalachian Mountains, not to go into curriculum and shit. But it's a way to articulate that. But I'm not gonna hold you. The biggest struggle, and I can admit this out loud, the biggest struggle which I have right now is not telling the children where I'm from.
Because you can't.
I don't know. Where are you from?
Copy.
Yeah.
I'm African American, but we're from the Ivory Coast. Where are you from?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. That's the biggest issue I have right now. Because if I could hold a flag up in my classroom, of no matter where I'm from, like if I'm Ghanaian or if I'm from St. Croix, if I could locate that, I think that would be a nostalgic feat for myself, for the scholars to relate to me even more, even if I'm not from the same continent or the same island where they're from. Is that last piece of relatability, because a lot of us are walking around here not for nothing, like dumb, deaf, and blind.
Lost.
If someone asked me, would you gravitate towards your heritage culture, or would you still hold on to Black American culture? And I couldn't even provide an answer for them. Like, I would love to acknowledge if I could find my roots where I'm from. I've just been so embedded and, programmed into Black American culture, which is really nothing that's tangible because white people own everything.
Yeah. That's speaking. Like that.
I would say, I can't follow that up. That was insightful. I would say that I'll take it a different step. I would say making the salary higher and teaching much more attractive. I think especially like young teachers, the ones that could truly make an impact at some points, because the pay isn't enough.
You'll never see them, bro. You'll never see them people that you're talking about, because more and more teachers is dropping down. The number gets greater every year.
Yeah.
It gets greater every year.
Yeah, if there's an incentive on like, and whether it's federally mandated or state mandated that there are minimum salaries, that's just for me. At the end of the day, teachers are just like, educators are just like everybody else. They have a family responsibility, things that they need to take care of. And some of them are extremely, like X, like CJ, at one point Matt, were extremely passionate about making an impact in the schools. But I know a lot of people who are just like, I got to find a different career.
You got to think about what you're asking for, bro. Think about, all right, how much does a doctor make, roughly? Let's just shoot that out there.
On average, $250.
Yeah.
All right, so how much did his college professor that taught him make?
Less than that.
So you're meaning to tell whomever out down at the Capitol in D.C. to pay these people the equivalent amount to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a much more convoluted and
yeah,
it is.
But I mean, just the weight of just having that asked is a big ask. Like I think about that every day.
Yeah. What did Cat Williams say? He said we say kids are the most important, but we don't pay the teachers.
Yeah. But you'll pay the lawyer,
right?
You'll pay the judge,
you'll pay the athlete,
you'll pay the athlete, you'll pay the doctor, you'll pay whomever to wipe your Google history. You feel me? But you won't pay somebody that's gonna get your family out of the deficit. You're not gonna pay somebody that'll help your child keep the money of what you have, because let's get real. Let's get real right now. Kids spend more time at school than they do home, bro.
Just like we spend more time at work than we do at home too. So it goes both ways. You're right, man.
Kids spend way more time. I had to think about that when I got out of high school. It's like, damn, a lot of these people I've known since like grade school, I know them just as well as like I know my family members. And a lot of the kids got the push at home. They got the parents. Some kids got like one parent. Some kid got a grandma that's trying to do her best after she raised this person's mom or dad. Some kids go home and raise their brothers and their sisters, and they got raised themselves. So, and also you got to think about the level of persistence what you asking these kids to do, bro. A lot of these kids work harder than you. You get to go to sleep. I gotta change my little brother diaper, and my mom got to rest because she got to get up and go to work. And then I got to drop my sister off at daycare. And then I got to catch the bus and shit. I didn't do my homework last night. I'm failing. How am I explain this? Yeah. And now my parents can't go to DR this summer.
Yeah. I'll go to you.
So I agree with everything everybody said, like funding, admin, the money on.
Money on.
Yeah. So quickly to go on each point, funding, yeah, that's one. Like, it got to be more money pumped into inner city schools, like just to get the funding that we need to provide the same thing as some of these like richer communities. As far as admin, I agree with. They're out of touch.
Yeah.
They're usually a lot older, so they have this standard, but they not really tapped into the classroom. Like, yo, these kids not understand. Like, my demographic
COVID, bro.
is mainly Spanish or Hispanic as well. Like 75-80% of the kids is Hispanic. So like, you want these expectations, like, come on, bro, you gotta be realistic. And what Mike said, like, as far as like the money is a trap. They're not going to pay teachers, because if you really start paying teachers to really educate and really impact these kids, you're going to start raising up some real powerful people. And that's not what they want to see. They want to keep the money and basketball, entertainment. So that's our only goal. Like, I know homies that said like, damn, I should have took school more serious, but the same amount of work, like, you know, people as athletes put into waking up at 5 a.m. to grind, blah, blah, blah. Like, imagine if he was doing that, creating a business, some entrepreneurship, stuff like that. So like, I don't think they want to see that. And then for my point would be, I think as parents is one of the main things, yo.
The buy-in from the parents?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just parents that don't support or just hurt people, raising people hurt as well. Hurt people. I see a lot of parents that come in raising hell at the school. I'm like, damn, I see why you act the way you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like,
I see why little Mustafa is smoking right now.
Yeah, because the mom come in, I seen parents come in high as hell, drunk as hell, for parent meetings. Like, bro, you knew we had this.
Parent-teacher conference right last week, and I'm not gonna out like whatever situation, but I seen a parent that had like, remember back in the day they had like the Warner Brothers shirts and what have you. The one guy had like a cartoon shirt, but it had like, it said backwoods on it. And I just see like Bud on the shirt, his eyes is obviously low.
Yeah, that's not.
And we're at parent-teacher conference with your daughter and your niece.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, bro, like granted, these kids are doing amazing in school, but I can see why they kind of have to.
Yeah.
They don't want to be here at 17, 18. They may try to graduate early and get the hell up out New York. Like this, like, bro, that's so, it's so crazy how many odds like we had against us. But I think the odds are even kind of greater now because the distractions are higher.
Yeah.
Kids are having kids at an even greater rate. Parents are raising kids that have not healed, like hurt people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, or they don't have the resources to put said person in this said summer camp. They don't have the resources or the family community to support to help raise this child. Like, it's so many cards that stacked against them. I start to look at my life like, damn, did I really like gas things up? Did I really make things worse than what they were? Like, that was I really that like self-conscious? Like, but man, I feel for these kids, bro, on a like a real emotional level.
Facts.
Well, I would say this just to like, because everything that everybody said, I fuck with, and this got real heavy, and I appreciate you guys for sharing. Before we wrap up, though, I'm just going to ask a quick rapid fire question to everybody, just to spin a positive. If there's like the kids that you interact with or have interacted with in the past, if there's one visionary, and what I mean by one Black leader that you would want them to learn about or expose themselves to, who would it be and why? Real quick.
Well, I'll go for me, and I'll go new school. And this might be like a little different spin. My guy, Wall Street Trapper. Just because I love his story. He came from like New Orleans, in and out of jail.
Incredible story.
Yeah, in and out of jail, selling drugs, sat down for like 10 plus years, came out in his like mid 30s and is a millionaire today because he refocused his life.
Educated himself
without like a standard 4-year degree. And he could rub shoulders with millionaires now. He made it the stock market, finances, stuff like that. Stuff that I feel like Black people don't talk about, which is
you don't
finance.
see them in that light at all,
we don't see
CJ,
that.
all, bro.
Yeah, the only way we think we could get rich is playing basketball or rapping. Like,
or getting over on somebody.
Yeah, or robbing somebody. So like, I would put a nuance to it, and I would say my boy Wall Street Trapper.
All right. Yeah, how about Matt?
I need a second to think about it.
Go ahead.
I might choose two.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson Mandela.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the kids learn, like, you know, I'm teaching them now about the Mandela effect. I got a video on my phone of one of the kids spitting the Mandela effect like it's nothing. And I'll probably go with a woman too. I ain't gonna hold you, I'll probably go with my mom, bro.
Oh, I like that.
First black woman in my family to go to college. Beat cancer twice.
Nice.
The kids love me, so I know they'll love my mom. You know, because my mom filled with jewels. My mom got great insight. I use my mom as a soundboard at this day at 32. I probably say my mom. My mom's trill, so I think she's one of the most knowledgeable, experienced people. Just knowing that, not to throw her age out there, but like she remembers seeing like MLK getting assassinated. Like all her heroes, seeing the man walk on the moon, all that stuff. Like that generation of people have a certain value of life and a certain experience that that's timeless. They'll drop jewels on you that that have nested in seeds that's been cultivated through the years that you don't even know what happened, what kind of vision you put in the back of so many of my friends in my mind. So I'll probably say my mom and Nelson Mandela.
Wait, all right, I would say just someone quick, Rich Paul.
Rich Paul's fire.
Because his story is like, a lot of people would credit like his success to LeBron, but I feel like after reading this book, and actually knowing, reading the story, like you have a whole newfound respect for him, and just the mentality that he had, like regardless I was gonna make it.
What's his book for the viewers? What's his book called?
They got Google.
Shit, hi.
Oh my god. I'll finish off. Well, I'll have Danny jump in too, but I'll make mine quick. Old school, I'm gonna go Stokely Carmichael, black activist, like just
Kwame Brown.
Yo, his story is incredible, so I got to go with Stokely. And then new school, I'm gonna go with Ida B. Malloy. She was my former boss, heavy in transitional housing and giving aid to former drug offenders and those who were in the system. And she's also an educator, been an educator for over 20 years, and like she support me even to this day, like. Anything I need, even with my goddaughter, like, she always willing to help. Love her to death. She's like my second mom. So I'll let you finish off, Danny.
I keep going back to Kendrick.
Lamar.
Yes.
Lamar.
Because you just put Pimp a Butterfly and you learn everything you need to honestly learn. At least for the young kids, especially like our generation.
That's powerful. Like
you want to pull a surprise for a reason, man. Feel me?
Surprise.
His books were great too.
Yes. So.
Both of them were good.
Well, we just want to say we love y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you,
brother.
bro.
Thank you.
Cause of love.
Yo. And from the One Life Collective, presenting the Black Privilege Podcast, we're gonna sign off.
Deuces.
Peace.
Take care.